For 11 long months, I poured my time, money, and a whole lot of stress into having something made that literally does not exist anywhere else. A completely bespoke mobile showroom camper trailer that I can use to travel around Australia and run my business out of. After countless challenges, delays, and times where I seriously felt unsure if I had made the right decision to get this trailer built, plans and dreams changed to reality and my trailer was complete. In today's video, I'm going to share a build walkthrough, trailer specifications, and my first impressions of towing this massive investment 500 kilometers home for the very first time. I also want to give two of you the chance to see this trailer built up close and in person by giving away 2 free entry tickets to the Brisbane 4x4 show next month. To win the tickets, just watch until the end of this video where I will be asking a very easy question and the first 2 viewers to answer it correctly win the tickets. What's up? I'm Eamon and welcome back to Bush Business. I can't even begin to tell you how good it feels to finally be making this video after so many months of waiting, worrying, and stressing. It is the first video of a series where I'll be documenting everything about this trailer and sharing my experiences of buying, owning, and using it. Therefore, be sure to click that subscribe and like button for me so you can join me in this journey in real time, as I will love to hear your thoughts and advice on what I can improve on this trailer. Let's get straight to business. To understand this trailer, we first need to understand how the idea came to life. It began almost a year ago in March 2025 when I exhibited at my first 4x4 show up in Brisbane. The show itself was a great success, but I was incredibly frustrated by my setup. Working strictly out of the canopy of the LandCruiser meant that we had barely any seating for myself and my amazing volunteer team. It also meant that we had limited display material and I couldn't carry nearly enough product to showcase and sell. I knew that if my business was going to grow, I needed a way to have an impressive display stand and be able to transport it and my products anywhere at any time in Australia. I needed it to be a method that can be operated by a single person and at a budget that I can manage. This practically meant a showroom on wheels, a mobile trade show stand, but also a trailer that can go anywhere the LandCruiser can go and be able to provide accommodation and living quarters in the harshest conditions while traveling around the country, as camping for me while doing business is a non-negotiable must-have. It also must be able to keep my products safe and secure and ready to display and sell without any setup. Unfortunately, when I researched the market, absolutely nothing fit my requirements. Commercial trailers were just empty boxes with no off-road ability, and they lacked the foundation to support my requirements for living on the road. And camper trailers, on the other hand, were purely focused on camping and travel, with no room for actual business logistics and product display. Therefore, I needed a hybrid of both types of trailers, all the features of a rugged camper trailer and all the space of a commercial box trailer with no compromise at all. Going custom was the only option, and honestly, it was a terrifying financial commitment that was going to cost me many tens of thousands of dollars. And when I started this process for getting a custom trailer made, the first thing I noticed is that most trailers on the market that are promoted as custom Australian-made trailers are actually Chinese trailers with a custom fit out inside. And there is nothing wrong with that, as they're far more affordable. However, for my specific situation, I couldn't afford to be stranded in the middle of nowhere, thousands of kilometers away from home, with a trailer loaded with my products that's broken down and as a result failed to attend a trade show or an important event that has cost me a small fortune to participate in. The second thing I noticed is that many businesses that claim to make custom trailers don't really offer a complete custom service. They have a few basic choices in the lineup for you to pick from, and then slightly customize the internal fit out only. And this wasn't workable for me, as my requirements couldn't have any compromises. An example of this was my LandCruiser tires, wheels, and hubs. I specifically wanted my trailer to run exactly the same tires, wheel nuts, and wheels as my LandCruiser, so I can effectively have 2 spare tires, or overall 10 tires and wheels that are exactly the same, so I can switch and change between them in the case of an emergency. And this was surprisingly hard to find. So after weeks of research and phone calls to various trailer builders, I decided to ask the opinion of a trusted Facebook group and get ideas and recommendations. From there, I had a gentleman reach out to me telling me about his business in Albury, which is Mubu Contracting. They build 100% Australian-made heavy-duty industrial trailers and were looking to expand in the camper trailer market under their Red Dust Fabrications brand name. A discussion was had over the phone with Craig, the owner, and he seemed very professional and well-spoken. However, because there wasn't much information online about Mubu Contracting or Red Dust Fabrications, I wasn't going to hand over a substantial deposit blindly, and I decided to drive all the way down to Albury from Sydney and meet them in person and see the factory for myself. Seeing their operation and the detailed 3D computer design proposal for my trailer was very impressive. Certainly not what I expected to see from my research online, and so I decided to trust them not only with my money, but my idea as well. I was also so impressed by the quality of their consultation and design process and how thorough the customization was, that I made a promise to them to share their work online because I wanted everybody to see it because I couldn't find it for myself when I did my research. Therefore, this is not a sponsored video and this is not a sponsored trailer. I offered to do this video myself to share the process, and the team did their best to give me what I paid for, and they did go over and above in many aspects. The months to follow were a roller coaster of finalizing designs, overcoming challenges, finding the right parts to have on the trailer that fit and work, and most importantly, finding the money to pay for everything. It was also very hard just to simply wait for the trailer to be built step by step, watching the time tick down. And with the wait finally over, I packed up my LandCruiser and I drove down to Albury to camp by the beautiful Murray River. And of course, it ended up being the hottest day on record in Albury, a brutal 47 degrees Celsius. But despite the heat and despite the lack of sleep, the next morning I walked into the workshop ready to drive my brand new trailer home. Seeing the trailer fully built and complete was an unbelievable feeling of relief and excitement for me, and so I decided to take my camera out and ask Craig a few questions. Let's now hear from Craig, the owner of Red Dust Fabrications, to walk us through the trailer specifications and the build process, which was a mammoth job in itself.
So Mubu Contracting has been running for about 15 years. I've been in the trade now for going on 25 years. I'm a maintenance mechanical engineer by trade. Started off my trade building semi-trailers, milk tankers and that sort of stuff, and then moved into the material handling equipment. Over the years, Mubu Contracting is sort of evolved. We've got 11 people working for us now. One of those things we sort of noticed in that was obviously, I do a lot of full driving. We get a lot of freight, do a lot of sort of stuff. So we sort of decided to separate the business. We've got Mubu Contracting, it's our maintenance and engineering business. And then we've got Red Dust Fabrications, which is the trailers and our general fabrication. And so we've got the three ranges. We've got what we call the SS300. So we call it Spartan series. We've got the SS300, which is this one. So it's a 3-meter trailer. It's really bang for buck, this one. It's a lot of punch, 3.3 ton ATM on it. Got a lot of punch on that. Then we go up to the Leonidas, which is the 4.5 metre, and then the Atlas, which is a 6.1, can go up to about 7.5. That's a really big trailer. My trailer out there, that's the Leonidas, that's the 4.5. Everything is basically based off that. All we do is we just, we have to work on where the axle sits. So again, that's the conversation we have with you saying, what are we doing with this? If you're saying, I'm only putting a canopy on the front and it's going to be on there 100% of the time, we can relocate the axles. But typically our trailer's set up as a flatbed. This can all come off and that trailer can be used standalone within probably, yours is a little bit different, but even the wiring, it's all Anderson plugged, everything disconnects, but it would take a little bit longer with yours. But for example, with the Leonidas out there, the canopy can come on and off in 15 minutes. Yeah. The roof bars all just drop in modular. We have a key nut design that slots into our key nuts. The slots in the deck there, we literally just turn them in and they lock. So that deck sitting there, just the flat deck alone is about a ton on yours with the front box water tanks on it. And then I think we're at 2.3 ton with everything on it. So you're probably around about 160 downboard weight on that. Given the fact that it is a 3.3 ton ATM trailer, we have to assume you're going to put 3.3 ton on it, which means your downboard weight needs to be at 10%. That was really important to us with our product, is to make sure that it's as strong as we can make it. Like, let's be honest, that is not a lightweight trailer. No. It's not designed to be. Our drawbar assembly there is designed to take 4.5 ton. So we can take this trailer and actually make it a 4.5 ton ATM. So that all goes into the standard.
And before we move on to that point, do you remember what you said to me about where is it warranted when I take it off road?
Yes. So the biggest thing for me with this, obviously it's difficult because I know, you know, people can go ahead and trash them.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is we're building that to go wherever that can go.
Yeah. And
that's really important.
And where have you taken your trailer?
So mine's done Cape. So I did from Melbourne up through Central Australia, up to the Cape, through Cairns up to Cape, and then all the way back. People want to know that they can do the tally track and things like that. Mine is a fair bit longer. My deck is 4.5 metres. We even got into some of those places. We actually had one of the locals say, no, you won't get in there. We're like, oh, well, hold my beer, let's see what we can do. Fully expecting to have to get pulled backwards. But the trailer is built, even with its turning circle and everything, to follow wherever your LandCruiser will go.
Well, it's probably got better suspension than the LandCruiser anyway.
Probably got a better handbrake. Oh no, you got electric. When we do this whole consultation about building a trailer, so I don't see it that we just build trailers. The trailer is the end product. What we're trying to do is find out everything you need. What do you need? And then we work our way, we put all that into a document. For this, for example, it's got the same hubs that you've got. So,
yes.
You know, it's all uniform. It's got suspension that will do what your car will do. Our big focus is on Australian made. The chassis, all the steel that goes into that is Australian BHP steel. All the laser cutting that we get done, it's all drafted up in here with Hayden. Everything's pre-drawn, pre-folded, all in the computer. It's put into a file and sent to our company in Melbourne that do our laser cutting and folding. Again, Australian steel. And then out the back here, we've got our fabrication workshop. And then we've got the fully qualified welders and fabricators out the back. Again, that sets us apart from other manufacturers. On the trailer here, we've gone with the Cruisemaster DO35 hitch, the fully articulating Pintle style hitch. That's what I run on mine as well. So we've gone that up front. We do the option of an Alco 3500 off-road hitch as well that goes onto a standard ball. Our chassis on these, so it's 150 by 50 by 3 Australian BHP steel. So our drawbar, as I said, is actually rated for a 4.5 tonne trailer. It's actually doubles up and runs right through to the back here. That's all 150 RHS. We don't step down to 100. So that's actually fully fabricated as one piece. Laser cut as well. So we do laser cut underneath for drainage holes. So if you do a river crossing or something, all that water drains out. Does reduce a little bit of weight, but that's pretty negligible. The suspension you're running is the XT Freestyle, which is my go-to. On the market, it's probably one of my favourite suspensions to work with. We get that out of Cruisemaster in Brisbane. It's got the electric brakes on it. The hub's same as your LandCruiser, so all your tyres are interchangeable. Your wheel nuts are interchangeable. You've got 8 shocks on that, so you've got dual shocks on every wheel to handle the corrugations. Again, they're specs that we do right at the start, because how many shocks or what size shock we put on is determined by what you tell us you want to do with it. It's still versatile, but knowing the weight you want to carry and sort of show it off a bit, it's got twin 35mm shocks on each wheel, Z electric brakes, fully independent. You've got the front dry box on yours, which acts also as a step to get up, but you've got a front dry box with double seal on that. Twin water tanks underneath, feeding a 12 volt water supply.
Plumbed in.
That's all plumbed in. There's a tap on the side there, you might be able to see there, but that's all plumbed in.
70...
I think you ended up with about 150-ish,
yeah.
I think you ended up with, a bit more, because we put the dual tanks in yours instead of a single.
Yeah.
With some of the other stuff we've done there, we felt that having 2 smaller tanks rather than a bigger tank was a better option for you. Yes. So you've actually got twin tanks under there. 12
volt electrical, yep. We went with and a drive. And this is the part where Craig said to me, he goes, we're doing such a good trailer, you're not putting cheap 12 volt in there. So
yeah.
I'm not putting 12 volt in there. That's not a good brand. So.
Yeah, so probably one of the things for me, is, yeah. I think I was pretty blunt with that.
Literally those words.
You've taken a lot of pride in your idea and your design. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it going. So at the end of the day, you put in what you want to put in. But for me, standing there looking at that going, we're now going to go put something that probably isn't up there with what we'd expect.
Yeah.
And conveying that to you, and obviously you took that well and got on board. Could have gone either way. But yeah, I think it's really important to compliment it. A big thing even with your four-wheel drive cars, with your systems, your trailers, whatever, it's really easy to miss a good 12 volt system. And you can add them on later, but I find it actually gets more expensive adding it later.
Yeah.
So for us to be able to do this up front, we've put the Anderson plugs right through. It goes into a voltage sensitive relay up top, and then it feeds the system. you're done.
And you've put lighting in there for the products as a showcase.
Yep. So we've got hardcore lighting for your general purpose lighting. That's what we run in the canopies. The hardcore lighting there, which is the three modes, and then we use steady lights. Now they're actually kind of like your roof bar lights. I run them on the back of mine as well for this reason. They are really good, clear, white light.
Yes.
So we've got those sitting up there in the moment for you. They're adjustable. So at the moment they're pointing straight into your product. But if you're camping, whatever, you can
turn them. Actually, I didn't even think about that. You can turn them around.
Turn them, yeah, you can turn them. You know, they're on slot, so they can actually be rotated for your specifically for your product, but they can be rotated. There's cheaper lights on eBay. But for us, again, you know, these come with a great warranty. They're waterproof. They're proven. I've run them on my vehicles. I run them on the trailers, and I'm confident that all the corrugations, the lenses aren't going to fall out of them.
Yes.
So you've got the power and the lighting run for you in that.
And then you got the kitchen as well. That was a unique request.
Yeah. So the kitchen came in a bit after the fact, but I'm kind of glad we did it. I was kind of, at first I was a little bit unsure of what we were going to do with it, how we're going to make it work for you. It is a high trailer, so, you know, making that work, but it's a full slide out Dometic kitchen, 3 burner. It's wired into the 12 volt system as well for the piezo. Connects to the gas bottle that we've put the gas bottle bracket on the front. We actually get them certified just to give peace of mind. So we actually get our gas fitters to come in and actually connect them up and put a certification plate on the front. So we'd normally have a ladder style system, which was originally planned off the back, but with your rooftop, and that is a big rooftop tent, with that pulled to the front, one of the things that I guess changed all that for us was you said, hey, my kids have got to get in and out of this. I wouldn't get my daughter to go up my rear ladder into my rooftop.
Yeah.
So that made sense what you're wanting to do there. So yeah, went to the drawing board for a bit on that one and played around with some designs, some of them functional but not aesthetic. So it was really about finding something that we found was aesthetic and functional. And I'm quite happy with what we've come up with actually. So that's now saved into our database as I guess a standard option, if that makes sense, to be able to grab that and stick it on a trailer.
And then the Unistruts as well.
It's right. So it's on Unistrut. So everything inside's Unistrut, everything on the roof's Unistrut.
And the front is Unistrut.
And the front's Unistrut. So I can grab that ladder and I can move it all the way to this edge, that edge. We could, you know, move it around. On the front of your trailer, one of the things, again, you said this was a mobile showroom. Something you said you wanted to be able to do was put a TV on the front.
Yes.
Never had a request to put a TV on a trailer before, but you want to put a TV on the front.
Yes.
So we looked at that and went, well, how do we know which side are you pulling up at? You don't know when you go to a stand how it's going to be set up.
Yes.
So we did a universal front on this, and it's got a plate on the front, obviously for you to fit your own TV bracket. But again, it can be moved around modular and it can be put, wherever it needs to be. You can put your hot water service that you've talked about, hanging your hot water. Yeah. So again, there's still so many options you can do on the front of that with bits and pieces that you might think of. Jerry can brackets and stuff like that. Those kinds of things can very easily be bolted straight on it.
And then the Max Tracks at the back,
yes.
That's your custom brackets as well?
So we used the Max Track ones and made some small modifications to it to get it on the back. Obviously you've supplied the Max Tracks on the spare wheel, so we fitted up the spare wheel bracket. So again, that's a laser cut spare wheel bracket. We've got our red dust jerry can holder on the front and your gas bottle bracket on the front. Big
Outback Tourer rooftop tent and awning.
Yep. So we, again, because of that fit up with the way we do the universal struts on top, when you got that stuff here delivered, we just lifted it up there, worked out it was going to sit, and we've actually just utilised the factory brackets. I think we've got some 20mm spacers under the rooftop just to get it in the right spot and get it right hot, but pretty much able to universally fit those standard brands. So that obviously being Outback, I've got the Darcy out the back, but with that roof set up, you can, if you changed your mind tomorrow and sold that, put something else up there.
You need a big forklift, but...
Yeah, that needed a big forklift, yeah.
And thank you for wiring up the solar as well, because you guys did everything, not only installed, but you wired up all the electricals and everything.
Yeah, so that rooftop comes from Outback with the outlets ready to go. So we've run the solar off the roof of that. It's got roof bars on top. We've run the solar into the EnerDrive system. There's another Anderson plug that goes back into there for your, I think it's got lighting in it and your USBs, whatever. So yeah, we wired all that back into the EnerDrive system. What
a beautiful trailer. All that's missing is we need to put aircon in it and a diesel heater, and you can live, and you can live out of it.
You can easily put the aircon and the diesel heater in there. There's plenty of room in it.
All this was done in less than 12 months.
Yeah. This project was probably a bit slower than I would like. But again, when everything's bespoke, you get something designed, you do just for your shelving, for example, you get something designed, get something fitted, and then you can do the next bit. It's hard to have it all there ready to go in one go. As much as we put all that effort at the front, where we got a laser cutting, so we did all, got everything done. That's why we have to fully assemble it and make sure we're happy, and then pull it apart and get it powder coated. Ideally, you just start to finish, punch it out, powder coat it, fit it up, and it would work, but we don't want to take that risk.
There were so many requests, like even as far as, Craig, while you do my chassis, do you mind spraying IGL Aegis on there?
Yeah.
Yep, we can do that. Like there was nothing you said no to me.
Yeah, it all just adds time, but at the end of the day, once you've got this and using this, the time it's taken to build is probably just going to dissolve.
Yeah.
Because you've got exactly that. If you got it and then went, oh, I wish I'd done this or I wish I'd done that, that's not what we want. We want you to know that it's what you ordered is what you're picking up. And I know there's already some things you've spoken about that you want to still do to it, and there's still got that flexibility, like putting your fridge in. I think you want to put another drawer system at some stage on the other side. There's still all that flexibility for you to be able to do that with it.
Absolutely, I'm so wrapped with it. Like I can't wait to just get in the car and drive it, mate. But I've said it to you now a million times, and I'll say it 1,000,001 times. Your online presence doesn't do your business justice.
Yep.
And the reason I'm making this video, and by no means am I sponsored by anything else like that. Like I never messaged you and said, can you do me a cheap trailer and I'll plug you on YouTube? Like I said it yesterday and you laughed. I'm not Ronnie Dahl, right? I got 630 subscribers. But hopefully somebody who's doing their research can see the amazing work that you guys do, because I was blown away the second I came here. And I've been here twice. I came here to see the design, and then I came here to see the trailer. It's not like I was here every week keeping an eye out on you guys. And the second that I came and I looked at the designs and the specs and how you guys were set up, I'm like, this is incredible.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I think the biggest thing for us is, and I'm really proud of the guys for this too, is, as you said, you're in Sydney. So we're not able to get you in here to say, hey, can you check this before we do it? So the communication by phone, messenger, text, and the images or the details we're able to provide you means you didn't have to come down here.
Yeah.
So I take a lot of pride in the boys. I'm very proud of, they've actually delivered. It's all very well, we've designed what you've asked for, but they've actually followed that and they've built it. You're happy when you turned up. So there's a lot gone into that. For us, as I said, it's our sales pitch is that getting you in and consult with you and showing you.
I think that's what makes your business unique for me is you said, what do you want? We can make whatever you want. Just let's make sure you know what you want.
Yeah.
And if I changed my mind and I said to you, can we make it a rooftop, pop-up top? I'm 100% sure you could have done it. You would have just said, look, but we need more time.
Yeah.
But you would have been able to do it.
We've definitely put time to it. So we really appreciate that you gave us the opportunity to do this and that you came and actually met with us. And that, now we've got this beast on the road for you for the show.
Mate, I can't wait to get it on display in the Brisbane 4x4 show, and you'll be there with us.
We'll be up there, So either myself or Nigel, we'll have one of us will be up there at the Brisbane show.
Mate, I'll get on the road and head back to Sydney.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, man.
Beautiful.
Thank you. After the walkthrough and the brief handover training session, it was time for the moment of truth, hitching up the LandCruiser to the trailer and taking it home. And I'm not going to lie, I was incredibly nervous. I had no idea what to expect, but I knew that I was going to be towing something big, heavy, and expensive. It was also going to be the first time I tow with the LandCruiser, which meant the first time that I try out many items like the electronic brake controller, which was quite stressful and worrying. However, pleasantly, the trailer towed beautifully and felt incredibly planted the whole way, with the only minor hiccup being that the trailer plug lead was slightly short and came loose after a massive bump, but thankfully Craig promptly sent out an extension lead, so I'm confident that that issue will never happen again, and from my testing where I've driven it over some massive ruts, it definitely didn't come out again. The other massive shock that I realized when I got home was just the sheer physical size of the trailer. It doesn't look huge in video and photos, but the 33-inch tires and the high clearance suspension and the massive Outback Tourer 155Z Fault tent on the top is significantly taller than I expected. it actually makes the LandCruiser look very small, but because it's so proportionally well built, it looks quite nice and perfect. Since bringing the trailer home 4 weeks ago, it has also been an absolute sprint to get it ready. The Brisbane 4x4 show is now less than 2 weeks away, and this trailer is going to be the stand. It's also going to be my home for a whole week after the show while I go and visit my Queensland customers. And with the help of my very talented cousin, we have spent countless hours doing the fit out, getting it ready with everything it needs for the show to be a display stand and also to be my mobile home. And I'm glad to say that I have recently taken it out for a real world test to find its strengths and flaws, and it was very lovely to camp in. But I'm going to be sharing the good, the bad and the ugly in my next video about this trailer, so make sure to subscribe and click that notification icon so you don't miss it. Also, be sure to pop in and say hi at the Brisbane 4x4 show in March if you can. And on that subject, the first 2 viewers to answer what rooftop tent I have on the trailer will win a free show ticket next month to the Brisbane 4x4 show. Put the answer in the comments below, and also let me know what you like or dislike about the trailer so far and what you think I need to have on it that I haven't mentioned. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.